Hello everyone and welcome back to Geek Chef Gaming. I am your host Chris the Geek Chef Tracy, and I'm here to bring you back some more Battletech action. Where we left off last time was pretty simple. I was about to start my story missions. Well, the first story mission anyway, because I just spent the last couple of hours just doing random odd jobs. But we'll see what um, happens now. If this thing would ever get done loading. Yeah. Kiki. Good Kiki. Do I buy the Jenner? It's only a part, and Jenners are relatively common. No, I will not. Let's talk to the crew. That's our debt situation. Yeah, sure, that's fair. I'm glad you're taking interest. I got time into the nuts and bolts. How are you? Why did we take on so much debt in the first place? How much time do you got? I mean, we've been hit with 1,000 expenses since we were forced to flee Coromir, but I guess they're mostly interested in the big ticket items. First and foremost, there's the Leopard. We still owe a lot of money on this ship, and losing her isn't an option. Then you got all the assorted fallout from the impromptu trip across the frontier, jump spaceship passage, docking fees, miscellaneous travel expenses, all paid for on credit, as if we had a choice. Then there's what I could get. There's more that I could get into. The loan that we took to set up Markham's family, etc., etc. But that'd be the gilding the lily at this point. The fact is, there's a lot of trouble with a lot of lenders, but hey, we're mercenaries. We live for trouble. Who exactly do we owe money to? I'm gonna give you the top three. We've got Blue Horizon, the big commercial bank in Lyerton. They are the ones that own and lease this ship. Then there's the Indery Consortium. They've got people everywhere, but they're based somewhere in Merrick space. We borrowed from other associates to make the jump away from Cromadeer on the day of the coup. Finally, we've got Lockdown Lending. They're a frontier outfit in Hasser. They're about as crooked as they come. Now, I don't normally do business with an outfit like the Double I, but well, we don't have a choice. They made a deal with Blue Harpoon to buy half our debt. Running the company, or just basically tutorial things. For any of the starters, you worked for the Royal Royal Guard. Tell me about it. It was more than just deployment. It was a full campaign. Like Lord Tomati gave us the job back at 19. We're supposed to be assisting the Royal Guard to round up and eliminate a pirate clan on the FUBAR, however you pronounce that. Commander Markham thought it would be easy money. Turned out to be anything but. We lost a dozen Mac warriors in 3 months on the FUBAR campaign. Had to hose them out of their cockpits. Would have been more if it wasn't for Sir Raju. He saved our people's asses on more than one occasion. Went out of his way to do it. The thing is, he didn't have to. We weren't under his protection. We were just the hired help. A lot of people in massive position would have used us as cannon fodder, but that wasn't his way. He treated us as if we were his own. He was a good man. Good as they come. Where do you come from? I grew up in Nasu Heights, one of the HAB stations orbiting R2. 30 decks of economic stratification, with corporate suits in the upper decks and everyone else crammed in the lower ones. My old man was a deckhand. We lived on deck 28, 2 levels up from the bottom, with other station maintenance personnel. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. My dad had to load and unload cargo vehicles, vacuum sealed Qatar, and nutrient paste for people like us. And luxury goods for the soups upstairs. The man must have unloaded thousands of cases of Castilian eel roe, plump, succulent eggs the size of melon balls. Never got to taste any, though. Any one of those tins would have cost him half a year's wages. Bioengineered crop that serves as staple foods of the inner sphere. Kolar looks like an ordinary grain, but grows twice the size of a Terran corn. Can be textured and flavored to mimic a wide variety of fruits, grains, and vegetables. An aquatic world famed for bountiful deadly oceans, considering its human populations clustered on volcanic island chains along the equator, while the oceans are ruled by a vast array of native predatory life forms. Anyway, I don't want to saddle you with my life. Suffice to say, I got an eye full of what I didn't want to be in Nassau Heights. But I did what I had to change my circumstances. By the age of 16, I struck out on my own. That's it for him. Hey boss, welcome to the mech bay. My own little piece of heaven right here on the ship. What can I help you with? I want to suspend the leopard. How much trouble are we in? Oh no, we're doing okay for the moment. But give it a few months, maybe a year. You know how it goes. Eventually everything falls apart. Questions about medbay. Tutorials on how to build mechs. Tell me a bit about yourself. It's a long story. The shortest version I can give you, I signed on after I served my term in the Third Succession War, fighting for the Capellan Confederation. If you want to know more, you can ask whatever you want. Otherwise, let's get back to talking shop. Where are you from originally? Bryant in the Confederation. You may have heard of our claim to fame. Crowley lizard cow? No? Trust me, they're delicious. Anyway, as the story goes, Bryant was a really nice place once, a tourist spot, big with hikers, fishers, and fishing enthusiasts. Pale blue skies, emerald green seas, booming agricultural business, you know the works. I never knew it was that way, though. Stephen Amaris got to it a couple of centuries before I was born, and well, that was that. As the story goes, Bryant used to have these enormous orbital mirrors, storm inhibitors, they called them. Star League put them in place. And Amaris took the system in his Civil War. He had his troops use them for target practice. Without those mirrors, Bryant reverted to its natural state, a miserable little ball of wind-blown dirt, actively hostile to human life. By the time I came along, the only places where people could live for relative safety were the planet's poles. Of course, you can't fit entire planet's population in a handful of cities at its poles. There isn't enough space, no matter how far down you dig or how tall you build. A lot of people, mostly poor, died in the early days. Still a lot of overcrowded and bright cities even now. That's my childhood home in a nutshell. Too many people jammed into a tiny claustrophobic space, nowhere to go but off planet. I cleared out of there as fast as I could, never looked back. Gotta admit though, I do miss the taste of lizard cow. Tell me about your time in the military. 2nd Saves Eyes Lancers, 1st Battalion under Major Lang. We saw more action than most. This arm is a souvenir of my time in the service. I lost it back in 3010 in St. Laurie. You know, when we first arrived at St. Laurie, I love the place. It's an agricultural world, sort of a breadbasket for the neighboring systems. Green fields, rolling hills. You get the picture. We just walked out of hell in Kittery, and the Fed rats drove us out in '05 with our tails between our legs, so it looked like a paradise to us. I remember kicking back at the mech bay, my feet propped up on an engine block, sipping on a sniffer of ambergris vermouth. Not a bad way to spend a sunny afternoon. Red, you see from. Anyway, it turned out the Federated Suns weren't done with us yet. We were barely a month into our deployment when they sent the Surdy Hussars to burn us out. I'm sure there were sound strategic reasons for why House Davison would want St. Laurie, but it sure felt personal to me. Long story short, one of their scouts managed to slip through our perimeter and hit my mech bay. I was tinkering around in a Centurion's custom-made rumble seat at the time. Being surrounded by all that armor is the only reason why I made it out alive. Still, I didn't make it out unscathed. I lost two of my favorite assistants and my own right arm. Now I've got this ugly thing grafted onto me as a reminder. And yet here I am doing mercenary work for a living. Some people never learn, huh? Why'd you leave the Compellans? After my tour of duty was up, you mean? I don't know, it was just time for change. Besides, the place wasn't for me anymore. In a way, it never really was. I learned a lot from my time in the service. I got a first-hand view of the elitist bullshit that saturates Capellan culture. How it rewards highborn idiots at the common people's expense. Speaking as a thoroughly common man, that didn't sit right with me. When my tour was over, I picked up my things and made a beeline for the periphery. It seemed like as good a place as any for a new beginning. Can't really get away from aristocracy. For what it's worth, I'm glad you made the choice. You brought my mech back from the brink more than once. Way more than once, if memory serves. Still appreciate the kind words. For what it's worth, I'm happy to be here. With this crew, going career military would have been an enormous mistake. You never really can get away from nobility. I was a noble. Yes, but you're a competent noble. You aren't afraid to get your hands dirty, and at the end of the day, that's all that we really care about. I wonder how many times I watched talented engineers get passed over promotions so some idiot with a title could advance. Okay. The decision we made about the uncertified contracts satisfy your concerns. My concerns won't be satisfied until our creditors have been paid and the loan sharks are off our backs. But this is a step in the right direction that makes me happy. I'm not blind to the risks that uncertified contracts entail. By the way, I know what we're doing is dangerous, but it's the best chance we've got to dig ourselves out of this hole. Okay, more tutorials. Collecting stories about the crew. Tell me something about yourself. I'm from a noble family like you. We're old money. Made our fortune out in Rosselhog. Then repatriated to the Turian Concordat. That's where I grew up. I'm not sure if this is the kind of stuff you're hoping to hear, but we can talk about whatever. I'm not shy. Where in the Concordat are you from? I grew up near New Vanderburg. Nice enough place, I suppose. Do you like birds? I guess. Then you like New Vandenberg. It's basically one big aviary. Something like 2/3 of the native fauna has feathers, flutters on the wind, and splatters its excrement across every available surface. Naturally, the original colonists adopted the feathery little monsters into the culture, and those of us that came after were kind of stuck with it. Statues, fountains, myrtles, you name it. The giant feathery pile of screeching alien birds. The system had a motto, it'd be squawk. You sure? Because I can keep going. I hate birds, is what I'm saying. Maybe an unpopular opinion for a pilot, but I will stand by it till the day I die. Where'd you learn to pilot the Leopard? The Turian Naval Institute on New Vandenberg. Well, among other places. It's a big campus. Low-gravity training station orbiting Lompoc was my second home for a time. TNI flight training isn't usually open to civilians. My parents had a good credit back then, and they can name-drop Protector Cauldron. Get pretty far in the coordinate for a while anyway. Thomas could try and see a Xanthera cauldron, the protector of the Turing coordinate. The other candidates in my class weren't especially happy sharing air with a civvy, but they couldn't say much. I was nobility and they weren't. Everyone sort of kept me at arm's length, so I had plenty of time to concentrate on my studies. Got my certification in both dropship and jump ship operation in 4 years. I even tried looking for a traditional jump crew for a while once upon a time. The people were fun, but it wasn't for me. The ratio of flying into violent jump sickness screwed hard in the wrong direction. Why don't you tell me about your house? You're looking at it. Both my parents are gone. Blood cancer and heart disease, respectively. Both treatable, but they were out of money by that point. And so into the ground they went. Ditto to my brother David. He ran off to serve in the Third Succession War and never came back. Galaxy was a war for nearly 200 years, Commander. People died. You don't need to apologize for it. And truthfully, I never was really all that close to any of them. David was 13 years older than me. He had a foot out the door before I turned 3. My parents, well, they raised me by proxy, in the traditional noble fashion. There was no real bond there, from when I was young. Not as to say that my folks were bad people. They weren't. They were just doing what they knew. Their upbringing had been outsourced just like mine was. Anyway, that's all the info I got about my family. They're gone. I'm here. The end. Do you have any more questions, or should I get back to our duties? What about Rosselhog? It was a long time ago, but yeah. My parents told that there were landowners in Promo di Torre, an agricultural world of sort of breadbaskets in the Draconis Combine. And yes, I know that Promo di Torre means potato. My ancestors came from the planet Potato. It took some time for me to accept that, but hey, here we are. Anyway, moving on, House Mayor's holdings were meager, but the value of that land was astronomical. For a noble family, they were very, very wealthy. Then the Third Succession War broke out, and the political rhetoric got ugly. House Mayor didn't want to single part what was happening, so my ancestors emptied their accounts and ran. As a rule, House Korea takes a really deal of views who cut and run. Words like traitor and defector start getting thrown around. In the Combine, you really don't want to be on the receiving end of allegations like that. I wouldn't be standing here today if House Calderon hadn't granted my ancestors asylum in the Concordat. In all likelihood, House Mary would have been wiped out before I was even born. That's everything. Deploy. Mr. Oliveira, I thank you for honoring my request to meet. I am Anne Martha Centralia, head of my family, I'm sure. Lady Centralia, this is a surprise. I wouldn't expect a member of the Canopin royal family to even know who we are, let alone approach us. This is approach us in such a non-traditional manner. This isn't a traditional contract. I don't need Comstar asking questions. Besides, there's no reason to evolve the Mercenary Review Board. I already know who I want to hire. You. Have I piqued your interest, Commodore? Interest, sure, but I need to hear details before I'm willing to commit anything. Of course, Commander. Expect nothing less. The job that I have for you is relatively simple. I need you to recover something from me, and I need it done quietly. In exchange for your services, I will pay the interest of your rather sizable loans, and buy you breathing room you've been looking for. Fair deal, wouldn't you say? How do you know about? You know what? It doesn't matter. Just tell us what you were supposed to be recovering. This. Lady Centralia's image is replaced with a screen of a grainy photograph of an enormous grounded dropship. Ramshackle structures cling to it like barnacles. She is a derelict vessel, an Argo, one of only two ever made. For over 200 years she's been lying in state on Alexius, a pirate moon in the heart of the frontier. I want her. You're going to bring her to me. Yeah, and how exactly are you supposed to do that? I mean, that's a big ship, and she looks half cannibalized for parts. Look, you can see her ribs in the photo. I'm enthusiastic about money as the next guy, but I'm a mech tech, not an aerospace engineer. I'll be damned if I can get that thing flying again. Relax, Mr. Veritan. We have engineering staff on hand to attend the Argo. Their leader, Dr. Freya Marad, has built quite a reputation for herself on the frontier. You'll find a jump ship waiting for you at Alloway. It'll carry you to the pirate moon. There's clear a path to the crash site. Dr. Marad and her team will go to work in the derelict, and you'll protect them until the work is done. It should be all well within your capabilities, Commander. Unless I've come to the wrong company, of course. Pirates don't scare me. I've fought the worst the inner sphere has to offer. Well then, I see no abilities reason why you shouldn't accept my offer. Do the job well enough, and there'll be more work waiting for you upon your return. Mr. Oliviero will find you a better opportunity than the one I'm offering. Commander Tracy, I can promise you that. She isn't wrong. We're looking for a lifeline, and I think this is as close as we're gonna get. You got yourself a deal. Very good. I'll forward the contract to Mr. Oliviera. The stories of your exploits in the inner sphere are well known to the Magistracy, Commander. You've built quite a reputation for yourself. Let's hope you live up to it. The contract for Lady Centralia is a direct recovery job. It's ready for review, Commander. We should follow up when you think is ready. Jeez, it took a month just flying. Banging noises draw to the shared mech warrior barracks. You find Glitch dismembering one of the leopard's internal walls. There's already several panels nearby stacked beside her. She pauses when she explains, "There's a few cubic meters of dead space back here. I'm making a room so I can stretch without hitting the bunks." As reasonable as it sounds, the banks are gonna like you modifying your property. I'll put some money aside to pay the fine. You look at Glitch in the eye. You know the chain how the chain of command works. You have to get clear with changes like that before you start. Well, can I? You look over Glitch's work. It's cleanly done, no hazards. Take a break until I make a decision. During a chat with Darius, you compare the cost of the fines to the benefit for the mech warriors and decide it's worth it. +1 morale. Commander, I'm setting course for Lady Centralia's jump ship. It's strange, though. The moon... It's talking to us. Elixis, it doesn't appear on any of the maps. It leads me to wonder, where exactly are we going? And how they intended to get us there. Let's get there. That was one hell of a rough ride. My stomach's still doing somersaults. That's because those crazy bastards used a pirate point to get us here. If we suffered a misjump, a sour stomach would be the worst of your concerns. And the leopard could have gotten irreparably damaged. Hell, we could have been irreparably damaged. Cautionary holovids they showed us at the academy are the stuff of nightmares. When exactly did you realize that Centralia's jump ship crew was planning on doing? As we are on our approach to the dock with the jump ship, was way out of position for the use of any legitimate jump point. Putting two and two together, I could guess what they were going to do. Here's a million Seabill question, Mayor. Why didn't you say anything about this before we jumped? Because it wouldn't have mattered if I had. We can't afford to turn down this job. Given the situation, I figured ignorance was probably bliss. We'll talk about this later, Mayor. But for now, what's done is done. We're here, and there's money to be made. Let's focus on the task at hand. The Argo's crash site is here, smack dab in the middle of the pirate's stronghold. The ship, the stronghold, and everything around it belongs to the self-styled bandit queen called Grim Sybil. Her gang is the closest thing to Alexis has to a ruling council. Grim Sybil, is that supposed to be scary? It sounds like the kind of name you'd choose out of a hat. What do her defenses look like? They're patchy at best. I don't think that Alexis gets a lot of visitors. They have strong anti-air cover, but a little in the way of ground-based defenses. I'm seeing a lot of vehicles, but Battletech's activity looks light. Define light. I can't put an exact number on it. All I have is surface scans to go by, but from the data I do have, expect the pirates to be able to feel the full lance of light battle mechs, all of them in poor repair. There are mixed reports of something bigger. That'd be Grim Sybil's mech. I don't have any information on tonnage or armament. But given the shape that everything else is on Elixis, I imagine it being held together with chewing gum and barbed wire. Anything else on Grim Sybil? Yeah, I hadn't either. Centralia's intel says that Grim Sybil mostly stays put on Alexis, but she's got at least a dozen pirate games operating under her banner. She must have something going for her. Sybil's bio is pretty sparse. There isn't a lot of meat there. Just note that she came under Lady Paula Turnvale's, the pirate queen of the Tortuga Dominions. I guess that's impressive, having a personal connection to Lady Death and all. Bandit Kingdom made up of an entire system north of planets in the periphery. The Tortuga Dominion's ruthless raids are a thorn in the side of both the Federated Sons and the Torturian Concordat. Paula Trevine was born as a pirate kingdom of Torturian Dominions and rose through the ranks to become the supreme leader of the legions in 3015. Her reputation in bravado and cruelty inspires devotion. Her followers as much as fears their enemies. Lady Death, really? Don't these pirates... I mean, I swear, man, these pirate names are killing me. What do you expect, Yang? They're pirates, not poets. Their only real job requirement is a willingness to kill for money. Are mech warrior call signs any different? Let me think about that one, boss. No, I guess they're not. Very clear, wise ass. Now knock it off. Darius, is there anything worth mentioning in that file? Or we can get back to talking about the mission. It looks like Tervaline and Sybil had a falling out. Not that terribly surprising given the Pirate Queen's track record. Sybil managed to survive somehow, good on her, and she's been living here on Alexis ever since. The rest of the port is just a rap sheet. Apparently, our bandit queen has racked up astonishing number of kills over the years, mostly against merchants and freighter crews, but kills all the same. She likes to get her hands dirty. She knows her way around a battle mech, and that's all I got. So, vehicles, turrets, and a few battle mechs. The entire structure is surrounded by radar-guided aircraft guns. Your first task will be to take down the radar towers so that Sumire can approach the derelict. After you secure the crash site, we'll dock with the Argo and drop off the engineering team. And then they'll miraculously get 200-year-old wreck flying again. Lady Centralia bet a massive stack of C-bills that they will. For what it's worth, I believe that chief engineer can pull it off. I never heard of Dr. Farrar Murad before Lady Centralia mentioned her, but I did some digging after our meeting. She was telling the truth. The doc has quite a reputation. She's supposed to be some kind of frontier engineering wonderkind, a genius to bring densions back to life. Let's see. We'll see. I wouldn't expect to find a really top-notch engineer out this far outside of League space. Hopefully Dr. Murad will defy that particular stereotype. We'll find out one way or another soon enough. Good hunting. Keep an eye out for me up there. Now this is on a moon, so there's a vacuum, so heat dissipation is... It actually halves the usefulness of your heat sinks. So energy weapons are going to be trickier to use. But fortunately I have a decent amount of ballistic weaponry which generates low heat. Welcome to Elixis, Commander. Every bit as charming as you expect an pirate-occupied moon to be. Find Grim Civil's radar station just ahead. Defenses appear to be limited to turrets and ground vehicles, for the time being, at least. We know that Grim Civil at least has one lance of battle mechs, so be ready for anything. Be careful of the pirates' turrets as you make your way to the base. They pack a nasty punch, and they can also sensor lock your mechs. Aim for the turret generator, and that'll be the fastest way to neutralize the threat. After the radar stations are down, you're clear to proceed to the Argo. Good hunting, Commander, and knock out their radar cover. Crush any pirate resistance and secure that derelict. That's done it, Commander. AA guns are down for now. Get to the crash site and secure the area. Crash site is secure. Sumere, you got a clear approach to the path. Clear approach to the derelict. 2 steps ahead of you, XO. Watch yourself, Commander. I'm coming in hot. Package is delivered, XO. I'm taking the Leopard to a safe distance before the pirates can get their guns running again. Roger that, Mayor. Dr. Murad, your team is clear to enter the derelict. I hear you, Mr. Oliveira. We're making our way inside now. Okay, his weapons are still intact. Lost a bunch of jump jets, though, but those are easy to replace. You think you're gonna steal my ship, you miserable scrub? Nobody steals from Rib Sybil. I'm gonna carve you like a roasted pig! That's a big mech. Yeah, but it's in terrible condition. Concentrate your fire and you should be able to take it. I didn't move far enough. I misread the lines. Get your lance to the Argo, Commander. I'm just about done. It's done. I can't believe it. It really worked. The engines are online and we have thrust control. Go on. Celebrate now. Celebrate later. Roger that. Hang on, Commander. For the first time in 2 centuries, this beast is gonna fly. Your performance was exemplary, Commander. I will be certain to ensure the Upper Echelon's Magistracy High Command hear about your skills. Took some heavy damage, but nothing too horrible. Lost a bunch of jump jets, though. You've done excellent work, Commander Tracy. You've earned yourself an opportunity to do more. Meet your real client. I do believe that she needs no introduction. I'm happy to see you again, Geek Chef, or should I say Commander. You've done well for yourself. The old man would be pleased. It must come as a shock to you seeing us here at Alloway. Seeing us all at all. I apologize for that. But I have had to be sure that you were the mech warrior I remembered before reaching out to you. And now, with the Argo on its way Lariton for repairs, I know You are everything I remember and more. She was dead. Lord Madeira too. I'm sorry, Lady Rhino, but the news feeds ran footage of your drop ship being blown out of the sky on loop for months. It wasn't her dropship. The broadcasts of her death were Directorate propaganda. Well-crafted lies to keep the masses in line. With that, uh, Camilla will be able to, I'll leave you to your reunion. Best of luck with the negotiations, and keep me appraised on whatever decision you come to. Lady Centralia's face winks off the view screen, and a dull blue glow of her hollow projectant slowly dies away. Lady Centralia was right about the propaganda ship. My uncle's directorate is run on it. Though in this case, they nearly became true. The Directorate's assassins pursued us to the frontier. In the months following the coup, we had more than our share of close calls. Eventually, they gave up looking for us, and we've been living in exile ever since. I've been there. As far as Directorate space as we can get without leaving the frontier. A miserable life. A miserable ball of rock called Xanthras. It was a nasty, brutish planet through internecine strife and bloody turmoil, where power struggles and mad nobles and plagues and zealots and holy wars. So you're saying it was a typical frontier world? More or less. Living Chromadeer, I heard stories about the problems that many frontier problems face, but I was detached. I never saw how rough life was outside the Green Coalition could get. Uncle's coup changed everything, including me. Okay, why'd you have us go after the Argo? In part to test your abilities, to make sure that your performance on Chromadeer wasn't a fluke, and our experience in the coup has taught us to be careful. We wouldn't just reach out to you on faith. But the Argo itself is important as well. She isn't just a ship, she's a symbol of reclamation, of rebirth, the return to better days. You see for yourself soon enough. She was a majestic vessel once, a true product of the Star League. Under Dr. Murad's care, she will be again. I imagine you've already guessed I intend to seek justice for my uncle's crimes. I intend to take my throne back, but I can't do that without you. We have resources, an army drawn from all across the frontier. Perhaps most importantly, we have the patronage of Lady Centralia, and the tax support of her government. That means money, a great deal of money. As it happens, I like money a lot, but I assume that Centralia isn't doing this out of the goodness of her heart. No, the Magistracy sees Camilla's claim to the throne as an asset worth paying for. They want to see the Directorate dealt with, but this isn't in their interest to do it themselves. They'd prefer to keep their own hands clean. The Rimworld periphery is a powder keg. Tensions between the Turian Concordat and the Federated Suns are high. My uncle's military posturing would be viewed as a provocation by either side. If open conflict between superpowers were to erupt, it would be difficult for anyone to remain neutral. The Magistracy wants to avoid getting dragged into a major war. And your House Centralia's best hope for a clean solution. They fill your warship, you remove the Directorate from the board, and the Magistracy lets tensions between the Federated Suns and the Turians simmer down on their own. Am I reading the situation correctly, Ray Orano? Correctly enough, Mr. Oliveira. But understanding isn't about diffusing a dangerous situation. For me, taking on the directorate is personal. My uncle betrayed me. The founding council has been reduced to a handful of powerless figureheads. Our very identity has been cut away and discarded. House Espinosa is long overdue for a reckoning, and with your help, I will I will bring them one. Join me, and we'll not fail. The price, of course. Let's discuss your compensation. Pledge yourselves to me, and I will buy your company's debts, all of them. You're free to travel and seek clients as you please, so long as you come to me when I call you. And on the day that I reclaim my throne, your obligation to me will be forgiven and your debt wiped clean. Of course, you'll also be paid for every battle you fight on our behest, at a rate that will feel quite generous, given the clientele you've become accustomed to. Thanks to House Centralia, we have money to burn. I don't like the thought of being some noble's pawn, but I don't like being in hock to a bunch of loan sharks either. Sounds like a pretty good deal, boss. I'm just saying. He would be. In truth, I feel that he's smiling down on us even now. I'll take my leave of you now. I have an army to rally and preparations to make, but I won't be long before I contact you again. When I do, I'll need to be ready. Prepare yourself and your company, Geek Chef. We will be ready to begin. Lady Renault just bought up all our debt, Commander. That means no more banks restricting jump ship access. We can now travel to more systems now. We should steer clear of the major states. We don't want it to look like we're gonna cut and run. Good news, Commander. Once Doc Murad and her crew got that wrecked ship safely away, they found most of a Centurion in its cargo hold. It's not equipped for combat yet, but with a little love and attention, I can return it to service, swing by the mech bay, and order a refit. Sturdy and reliable mech, the Centurions are good at both taking and giving a beating. The CN-9A models are able to engage at any range, but their damage curve increases as they approach the target. Scrap the Locust, or scrap the Panther. Of course we're going to need to do repairs. One of my mechs had an arm blown off. Decker was hurt when the torso got blown out on the spider. seems about right. That sounds fair. In the morning briefing, Yang jumps right in. Commander, the Leopard is too small. My mech techs keep tripping over everything. Chief, we've talked about this, Darius says in exasperation. We can't exactly knock down any walls. Sumerae inserts herself. What if we move some supplies to other parts of the Leopard? The bunks, the kitchen, hell. I'll even store some boxes in the cockpit, if it'll help. Yang rubs his chin. Yeah, if I had some breathing room for a week, I could reorganize and make room for everything, move everything back in. +3 tech point boost for 30 days at the cost of 1 morale. Over the next several days, everyone helps move all the mech-based supplies to other parts of the ship. As a result, emotions get heated over the following week. Behemoth gets particularly upset when she trips over an unexpected box of tools. Before long, however, Yang and his technicians reclaim their supplies. His mood, at least, is much sunnier than everyone else's, but when you arrive at the mech bay, he's practically glowing. You can see why. The mech bay has never been better organized. Those extra mech points will actually have all that work I'm doing go by a lot faster. And I'm going to go work for pirates in Detroit. On your way to the Leopard's Galley, you run into Sumerae heading the same way. Commander, it's been a long week. Can't make more hours in the day, but can make more coffee. When you enter the cramped galley, you see Medusa and Behemoth in a tense standoff in front of a nearly empty coffee pot. Medusa sees you. Commander, this is the last of the coffee. The Exo says he won't have any more until the next supply run. But Behemoth shoves her away. I got here first. He almost stole it when I was looking for my favorite mug. Split between them. Exasperated, you squeeze your way past the galley, take 2 cups, pouring the coffee equally in both, and you say, if you can't act like adults, we'll have to resolve this like your children. You hand 1 cup to Medusa and the other one to Behemoth. But drink up. The next time I send you planetoid, I expect you to make every single shot. After you leave, Sume sighs and stares at the empty pop. That better have been worth it. Now excuse me while I go discuss the shopping priorities with Darius. proceed to mission. We'll bring the Panther in. And this will probably be my last round of the night. Priority is the tanks and trucks, but I need to not be afraid of going after the mechs as well, because there's a bonus in that. A recruit with the +1 initiative skill? Okay. lucky on that one.
Waiting on you, Commander. Good to go. Time to die. Another hit like that and you're toast.
That hurt, but I managed to get through it. Lost an AC5. May have lost other equipment. Probably heat sinks. I'm lucky I didn't... Behemoth didn't go down, but it worked well. AC5, a jump jet, and AC5 ammo. They did some decent damage to my back, but my armor held out well enough. Panther overheated. Okay. Or I could attempt to go for get the javelin on the random. Oh well. A lot of jump jets and SRM ammo. 2 SRM6s, not bad. Lady Orana's contract to liberate Weldry is ready to review the command center. Follow up when ready. do not have an AC-5. I'll buy the Jenner parts. Yeah, make this fucker a brawler.
I hear ya. Standing by. Orders? Training. Training confirmed. Standing by. Mech warrior training complete. What's up, boss? Training. Training confirmed. Waiting for orders.
Mech warrior training complete. Aye, aye.
Okay, and with that, I'm calling it a night. Took quite a beating that last mission, but I got me a Jenner out of it, and should I hire? Well, we'll get Decker back in 5 days. I have to travel. Yes, I should be in fine. Centurion's gonna be done soon. The Shadowhawks got a bit of work. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and have a good night.